How's it going, guys? CrackedRack here, and today I have something extremely exciting for you all that I think you're all going to love. This is literally the most requested thing I've ever gotten in my entire life. I have not even been asked to take care of my real-life responsibilities as much as I've been asked to do this. Today, I'm going to be making an a very old school, reply-styled YouTube video to a lolcow, particularly Chris Chan. So you probably kind of remember these reply girl type videos from a long time ago. I always thought they were awesome, but a lot of people really hated them. But I kind of want to bring them back, and that's exactly what I'm going to do today. Because I think this is the most entertaining style of content humanly possible to create. And what's more entertaining than me, CrackedRack, arguing with Chris Chan? I don't think there's anything more entertaining on the planet, if I'm being honest with you. Not even going to take forever to introduce this. Let's just get right into it. In front of me today is a rant by Chris Chan, created about 10 years ago, on his thoughts on women. Now, as you may know, Chris has some pretty awful opinions on women in general. He basically believes women should just lay on the floor and let him do whatever he wants to them. If you aren't aware, Chris has basically made it, at this point in his life, to where any woman he even comes across is so horrified at his existence, they basically get a restraining order on him. And if they don't do that, they basically threaten him by being like, hey, if you ever show your face anywhere near here, I'm gonna kill you. So yeah, anyway, let's get into this rant that I believe is from, like, 2009? I'm not sure on the specifics, I don't think it matters at all. To calm the nerves, I'm just gonna open my favorite, Budweiser, if you've been a long-time fan of the channel. Oops. Oh, and I'm not bullying Chris here. I'm aware that Chris has mental disabilities. Think of this more as a debate.
You know who I am. But I have randomly decided to make this video because I am sick of all the false accusations and rumors and slanders that have been going around on the internet against me. So I tell you for sure and for true that I am straight.
Okay then, so we have a very disheveled Chris Chan, who's like, what, 29 here, but looks nothing short of about 60, talking about him being straight. That's something that's aged very poorly for a variety of reasons, but I mean, overall, who cares? Who cares if you're straight or you're gay or you're transgender? Who gives a crap? No one cares. I've never seen anybody over the age of, like, 18 adamantly defending their sexuality. That's so weird. If you're not in middle school, just be yourself. Or no, if you're not in high school, just be yourself and be confident in who you are. Get away from people who are holding you down from what you want to be. Just get away from them, even if they're family. Just be yourself. You deserve to be yourself.
Anyway, most of my friends in my life have been female. I've had only few male acquaintances, and they've definitely turned me off, the majority of them, because they are rude, crude, and inconsiderate.
Men are rude and crude and inconsiderate. Unlike you. Chris, if I recall, you once walked into a GameStop and started messing with a display, and when you were like 35, a display of Sonic Boom, because you were mad that the color of the Sonic's arms were blue or something. And then, when a GameStop employee, who mind you was like 15 years younger than you, kindly said, hey sir, can you please stop doing that? You walked over to him, pulled out a very brutal, vicious can, like a very strong can of bear mace, and you maced him in the face. Which I wouldn't even do to someone holding like a weapon to me. That is so extreme. You were one of the most rude and crude people on the planet. You literally once took your car and at full speed rammed it into an elderly Jewish man because he didn't want you in his video game store or card game store or whatever it was anymore because you kept harassing the women and children in there and starting fights. Clearly you just hate men for some reason, and because you actually ended up being a woman, you decided to be like this. I'm not sure why. Men and women are equally as great or horrible as one another, okay? And you know, social norms and status quos take over, and sometimes maybe men showcase more behaviors than women, but women still have those behaviors equally as much. Maybe they just don't show it as much, but I prefer the transparency.
But women are so kind and sweet. And you don't have to look at any of them in bikinis or in a nude to fail to see the beauty in each and every wonderful woman. But inside that beauty, they all have caring qualities, the majority of them.
No, they don't! Just as many women, like I just said, are just as evil as men. There are just as many women who go on to commit horrible crimes as men. Why do you think we have women's prisons who are just as populated as male prisons? I mean, sure, a lot of women have a sweeter, superficial aura, because that's what they've learned to project, and they are significantly less blunt than men, but that doesn't mean anything. That's just superficial social construct. In fact, a lot of women are extremely cruel and mean and abusive and bully men all the time. Men and women are equally horrible. I was bullied constantly by girls in middle school, and I guess that's something to be embarrassed of, but I don't agree, because if 2 girls are bullying you, that's equal to just 1 strong boy bullying you. The only difference between male and females, besides, genital differences, are like chemical differences, emotional differences, and some physical stature differences. That doesn't make them something to be ashamed of if you're victimized by a woman. So this point is really stupid, but I mean, I can't say I'm surprised.
But I do not need to stoop down to the level of where my hormones would go out of rage to appreciate them as being my friends and my gal pals, even as low as acquaintances, because I can only have one true sweetheart. But anyway, get over to the women.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Did you just insinuate that you have a hard time keeping female friends out of the fear you might just give in to your primal hormones and rip their clothes off and start sexually assaulting them? That's the creepiest thing I've ever heard. Not even Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs makes me as uncomfortable as that. Even Jigsaw, John Kramer would be like, "God damn, you're a weirdo." Now, I do also kind of have mild autism. It's not nearly as severe as yours. It's a bit different. Mine is just, some Asperger's, which is very obvious. My monotone inflection, my obsessions, obviously. So I can empathize with you a little bit, but not really. The normal response for someone like me would be in front of a very attractive woman, I might be nervous about screwing it up or doing something stupid that'll make me look dumb. Well, not anymore, but like when I was younger, yeah. I don't just see an attractive woman and go, I'm gonna rip their f***ing clothes off. I'm gonna give into my primal juices and absorb their beauty. That is some serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy stuff. I've always liked giving Chris the benefit of the doubt because he is very mentally handicapped, but he's actually kind of a lot worse than I remember. When I was younger, I used to watch his videos and the things he would say and do and be like, oh, silly old internet guy. Looking back now, and that I'm in my 20s, it's more like, oh, silly internet guy, oh my god.
Yet some of them can turn and be very distraught, but we have to learn to abide by them and just let it pass. Even if it doesn't pass.
This is not a we issue. Very, very few, if really even any people on average, are having an issue where they're having trouble restraining themselves around women. I mean, I'm sure plenty of people do, obviously, but like most of them are in San Quentin. So you're congratulating women who get sexually abused and then are just like, oh, whatever. I mean, okay. There's a lot of strong women out there, I guess, but it's a weird way to put it.
And especially to children.
Whoa, Chris, no, don't go there. Please don't go there.
I assure you that I am straight. Because, I appreciate the women, all the women, for their personalities purely. But any man would be crazy or even ignorant to not even notice the outer beauty in addition to their inner beauty.
So gay people are crazy according to you, and asexual people are just total lunatics, huh? Or if you just happen to be a very self-respecting straight man who doesn't think or care about sex very much at all, you're a piece of shit? Okay, I mean, we're all entitled to our own opinions, I guess.
And Playboy has been able to help us in that sense to better relate and further our appreciation for the female species. The females, the women, the beautiful ladies.
Okay, I'm not even going to comment on how disturbing that was, but I will state there is one surefire way to never get a girlfriend, ever, and that is to refer to women as the female species. You are literally walking around town with a sign on your shirt going, yes, I'd really like it if members of the female primordial species around the age of 18, you know, the age of consent, could get down on their knees and blow me while I wear this Sonic the Hedgehog medallion mixed with Pokemon. Yes, I am turning 30 next week. What about it?
To everyone, even those who dare say otherwise, and those who dare say otherwise, well, I can only say that y'all be damned. Because I am educated throughout my whole lifetime and the classes I have taken between Set and high school and real life experiences and my ins and outs of my sweetheart church search in the past.
You know, I see a lot of people bring this point up in general for all sorts of things, and it's so annoying. I don't care what your education is. Just because you went to high school and then went to college and then went to med school or something doesn't make you smart. It means you had the discipline somehow to pass school, which doesn't take intelligence. Discipline and intelligence are two different things. And with you, Chris, you went to high school and college in what I believe was a special education program, meaning you didn't have to have discipline. You were basically given a free pass to be as undisciplined as you wanted, so your education means nothing, and it doesn't prove any intelligence you allegedly have.
Boobies. Vaginas. Gorgeous.
This is literally you. Well, okay, there we have it. Chris is a straight, white, cis male, and there is absolutely nothing that's going to change that.